Hi guys, and welcome to TechFurb. Today we're going to be doing something that I'm super excited about. I've never done it before, and that is water cooling. So we have here the EK Waterbox Liquid 240 kit. It's a basically kit you buy off the shelf, has all the parts in it, and I've never done water cooling, so it's going to be an experience, and hopefully it all goes well. Okay guys, so why are we doing water cooling? Well, I kind of wanted to do it when I originally did the Ryzen build, which you can check out up here, but unfortunately didn't quite have enough money left over, so I didn't want to compromise on the parts that I bought, so I went ahead and just kind of ditched the water cooling and said I'll do it later. Now I have the system here and I can put it in, so ultimate goal here is basically we're going to have to take it out, take all the guts out of this case here and pop them in here and go from there. Now if you're not familiar with the parts that I run, I have a Ryzen 7 1700, 32 gigs of, I believe it's Vengance LPX RAM running at 2066 megahertz, I think it is. That's the kit I got. It's not limited to that. I couldn't justify spending $100 on better RAM. It's just didn't have enough at the time, couldn't justify it, so I'm happy with what I've got. And that's fine. Now, the other one is the RX 480. I got that just before the 580 came out. And I don't really have any buyer's remorse because the 580 is just an overclocked 480 and I can overclock my chip anyway if I want. But the performance is good enough for me running a ultra-wide 1080 panel. So effectively 1440p gaming runs just fine on the RX 480. So let's go ahead. Let's take the guts out of this system, pop them into this case, and then we will start looking at putting in the water cooling kit. Okay, so water cooling, what does it involve? Well, we have this kit here that I've gone ahead and purchased. So we're just going to do a quick unboxing of this one just to give you guys a reference point, because most of you have probably never done water cooling. It's not really a common thing to do, so we're just going to go ahead and kind of pop the box down here like this. I mean, first and foremost thing you'll see is actually kind of tubing. I won't be using that tubing. I did get different coloured tubing because I wanted something specific to the Ryzen build. So a couple of manuals. That's the liquid cooling manual. That's very important. As you can see, I've kind of opened the packaging a little bit before because I needed to check some things. Got some fittings. Where's my sixth fitting? 6 fittings, 2 per. 2 for the block, 2 for the radiator, and 2 for the pump res combo. So first thing we have here is the block. With the block, it's pretty straightforward. Just whip that guy out. Now I've already gone ahead and fitted the AMD thing, and basically you have to, if you're using a Ryzen system or an AMD system, you need to change the Intel bracket that's on there by default. You just kind of get the Allen key they provide and just undo the 4 screws on the copper plate at the bottom. Take off the Intel one, put on the AMD one, fit back the copper plate. Make sure you tighten it properly, because if you don't, it will leak. So this is actually quite important that you remember that this is a part of the water cooling assembly. So I don't like this idea. I think it's quite silly that you're taking apart the water block, but it is custom water cooling. It's assumed that you know what you're doing if you're doing this. If you don't know what you're doing, you should not be doing water cooling. That is a given. So that's the water block. Over there. And what else? Now I've gone with plexi tubing. Doesn't overly matter a whole lot. It is important to get a half decent brand. I've gone ahead and got this one just because colouring. I can go back to the EK one if I find that the flexi tubing is not working very well. We've got a splitter for the fans. What else we got here? That is for the pump mounting bracket. Oh, here we go. Radiator. I'll pull that guy out a bit later. And what else have we got in here? Pump res combo. So pretty much your block, radiator, pump res combo, tubing and fittings. That's pretty much everything you need. And the only other thing that we really haven't found yet is the fans. These go on the radiator, so that's the Vardar fans. So Oh, what else we got? We got coolant and we got an Allen key again. So it's kind of it there. And power supply jumper. So we have everything we need to do some water cooling. So, bit of a hiccup with the project. Unfortunately, I'm a numpty, and there's another way around that. And when screwing in a fitting and you feel resistance, you should generally double check that it's not cross-threaded. I didn't do that. So I've cross-threaded it, and of course I've broken it because I'm a retard. And, well, frankly, I now need to buy a new water block. So, go me! I tried to repair on it, and it's clear to me at this point that I need to replace it because I'm an idiot. And yeah, so please hold. This video will continue when this numpty has a new water block. Alright guys, so I've got the water block fixed. I actually managed to fix it with a bit of what something's called Gorilla Glue and some silicone. So managed to get it back in place. It is watertight, I did test that. It's also very secure. To be honest, it actually seems like the most watertight connection on the build. So I'm relatively confident with it at this stage. So we're now at the point where we need to put some water in the system. So to give you a quick overview of the loop, basically what's happening is we have, starting from the pump, we've got the water going out into the radiator, then from the radiator into the CPU block, out of the CPU block back into the pump res. And that is the recommended way to do it on EK's manual. So first time water cooling, I'm going to follow the manual because I have no idea what's good or bad at this point. So the next thing on the agenda is a leak test. So we're going to go ahead and put some water in the system for the first time, and hopefully it doesn't leak, and 24 hours later we can have a running system. Alright guys, it works. As you saw from the B-roll, it's just looking fantastic. The system passed the leak test. I've got it in here. I've customized the fan curves. I've overclocked it. I've stress tested it, done all that stuff. And the figures. So if you're curious, it's running at 3.9 gigahertz now. It was running at 3.6 on the stock air cooler. At one point it was running at 3.8 on a 120mm AIO. It was really getting towards thermal max. It was getting up around 80 degrees on the AIO at 3.8. Now with the water cooling kit, the highest temp I've seen so far is 70 degrees. And that is under full load for about 2 to 3 hours. So temperatures are not an issue on 3.9 gigahertz overclock, which is basically, if I go any higher, the motherboard just can't supply enough power to it. So there is thermal headroom, but unfortunately, I believe I'm VRM limited in this instant, which is frustrating, but that's just the way of overclocking. If I want more, I need to buy an X370 board and just throw money at something that at this point is completely pointless. I'm happy with my mid-range water-cooled system. I realise that this is probably something that most people go, why didn't you spend all this money on getting, better graphics card and that sort of stuff? To that I say, I wanted to do water cooling and I can do it on my current budget, so deal with it. Okay, how would I rate water cooling? I guess that's probably another question you guys have. I would say it's not for the faint of heart. It's quite difficult. Just you have to be very mindful. I mean, I'm looking at my loop now, thinking that the cable I've run from the pump res to the CPU block is far too long, and I want to adjust that now. I could have planned that better. But unfortunately, now that the water's in the loop, it's too much of a pain in the ass to change it, and it's functional, so it's just going to stay like that until the loop gets pulled apart again, which will be hopefully a long time away. So moving beyond that point, I don't really think there's anything else I can say about it. I mean, acoustics, the fans are not spinning at idle. Like, 0 fans are running. At a light load, 0 fans are running. The only time the fans kick in is when the CPU goes over 50 degrees. And it does take a while for that CPU to get to 50 degrees unless it's under full load, at which point the fans kick in at a paltry something like 800 RPM or just an unnoticeable amount of noise. And that will immediately cool the CPU down and the fans just turn off again. So it works. And yeah, I mean, at this point I'm satisfied. Loving the new case with the side panel. And I feel like the only thing that could improve this system would be an RX Vega card and a GPU water block on that RX Vega card. Wink wink, nudge nudge. AMD, come on. Get Vega out the door, please. But that's going to be all for this video, guys. Like this one if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, leave a comment down below if you have any comments or criticisms. I know this one's a bit different from my normal content. I don't normally do something crazy and over top like this. I normally do more, I guess, normal benchmarks. And speaking of which, next video we'll be doing an i5 2400 review. I will post the benchmark numbers of this system in that review. So if you want to check out the numbers for this one, you've got to watch the next video. I'm very sorry. We're probably already sitting at, what, 15-minute video at this point, and the attention span of the younger generations means they've already tuned out. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.